now with the G8, as you can see, it's kind of tore down already. Now I'm doing some maintenance to it. I'm actually changing over to some E3 Diamond Fire spark plug recently. If y'all watch my videos, that's pretty much all I use. And no, I'm not sponsored. I've just had good luck out of them compared to every other plug I've ever tried in the past. It's about the best plug I've ever used, so I'm expecting good results from this. But today, not only am I changing the plugs, doing some detail work as well. When I pulled the intake off, I noticed how dirty the valve covers actually were. Clean that up. And there's some other stuff I'm going to work on and improve. So, let's get to it. Now I'm putting new intake gaskets on while I'm changing the plugs because I had to pull the intake to change these plugs here. Now, this really isn't horrible, and that's pretty smooth right there. And since it's not an air and fuel, since it is injected down here instead, this right here can be pretty smooth. Now the intake, on the other hand, is actually pretty rough feeling. Now it's not too far off, except on this one off the gasket. And actually, you can see that one is actually decently off as well. So I may just do a little quick work on this, just to kind of, especially on this edge, because I can actually feel an edge that can almost actually cut me right now if I put enough pressure on it. So I'm just going to go ahead and smooth some of that out. Alright, now I'm going to install the spark plugs. Now I'm installing E3s. Now, like I said before, you know, did about everything I use E3s. I'm not sponsored. It'd be nice to be sponsored, but I'm not. I've used these on a lot of things. They work well. Don't have to worry about a gap, pre-gap, and they usually don't foul easy. I'm sure most of y'all know my feelings on painting aluminum intakes. And as you can see, there's a recycled cardboard around the intake. So you probably know what that means. Someone wants it painted. So I'm going to go ahead and paint it for her. And you can guess what's about to happen now. Look in there. Not sure if you can see on the camera. In the light, at least I can see a little hint. But you know what? That's good enough. Definitely see it down there. Now, I think that may be dry enough to actually put the covers back on. There we go. And you know what? That doesn't look half bad. Not the best, but you know what? Looks alright. And you know what? I did put new rotors and brake pads on. And as you can see, matches the calipers as well. Alright, now that's taken care of. Alright, now so here we are. It's painted, set coat on, everything's dry. These are in, it's dry, showed you before. You can't really see the color too well unless you're at the right angle and you got enough light hitting on the scoops. But you know what? That's fine. It's there. I know it's there. Now, obviously, I've got rid of that nasty mess there since last you saw it. Just in case, forgot to mention. But I went ahead and had gotten a green high performance filter. This air box is actually from a GT. So the only issue I ran into was finding an adapter to go from the air box to the mass airflow sensor. Luckily K&N had one, so it works. It reads codes just fine. There's not a lot of flex or play. It looks like it's touching the upper radiator hose, but it actually is not. So that's one of the main reasons we changed it, obviously, because whoever owned this car before, when they put that other setup on there, it was rubbing the upper radiator hose. And last thing we want is actually rub a hole in that hose and for it to just shoot antifreeze everywhere going down the road. So now that's taken care of and fixed. It's all nice and tidy under there. Now there's one more little thing I'm going to do visual wise on the outside of this car. So why not get to it? Alright, so what is the last thing I'm going to add for today, you may ask? Well, something I normally don't add. Some of you may know what this is. This is that cheap, flexible, I don't know what they actually call it, like air dam or chin lip or something. Because I kind of wanted to do a little bit something on the front bumper, but I've already seen under there how this thing drags like crazy depending on where you're at, and sometimes drag coming in and out of the driveway here. So to have something made of fiberglass or plastic, it'd probably rip up and tear up pretty easy. At least it's being flexible, it may actually last, and it's just really for aesthetics more than anything else, more than function. So let's try to put this on and see what it looks like. Here it is before. Of course it's jacked up and raised up so I can get under it. Not the best, but you know what? $14 free shipping. Nah, take it or leave it. Even from over here, it's kind of hard to tell the difference, except in the center part of that bumper where it comes up. But you know what? Other than that, you know, it's hardly even noticeable. It's obvious. Done just a little bit to the G8 recently. You saw quite a bit of it. And of course there's plenty more to do to this thing. Of course, one of the drawbacks, they only made this car 2 years, so some of the parts are kind of special order, made to order, etc. So, say such as some of the sensors. Looked up some of the sensors on Summit Racing, and a lot of them are not in stock. There's a couple weeks out before their estimated ship date, so that's kind of a downside of this. I really want to get all the sensors and all that good stuff replaced on this before I start driving every day. That way I know everything is new and good on this. Now I hope you enjoyed this little episode. As always, thanks for watching.